The only reason King Von was free, the witnesses came up dead a day before the trial.
Something's wrong with him. That's not human, man. He's not regular, man. They was the devil, man. That nigga was the devil.
So the movie starts and yeah, John Wick's wife dies. She was gone. After the funeral, it seemed like his life was over. There was nothing else to live for. I hope when it's my time to go, my funeral's on a rainy day and everyone's dressed in all black. I just need someone watching from a distance with black shades so my family and friends think I was mysterious. So later on that night, a lady drops off a puppy. It was a gift from his wife right before she passed away. After reading the note, my boy was in real tears. It hit him right in the chest. By the way, how did she even die? Because I was trying to research it and it didn't give me nothing. The next morning, while trying to go grab some dog food, he hits the petrol station to fill up. Then a bunch of these gangsters pull up on him, trying to buy his Mustang. John ain't trying to sell it, but Theon Greyjoy wasn't expecting no for an answer. And for some reason, there's something about this guy that just pisses me off. Later that night, his dog wakes him up and heads downstairs. John follows him and he gets cheap shotted from the back. Blow! Had him completely dazed. They smack him with the bat, then damn near break his nose. But that wasn't it. These devious thieves grab his dog and kill it. Like, oh my god. All this because they wanted to take his whip. So Theon heads to see Aurelio to get some new plates and clean papers. And Aurelio was in disbelief. He knew whose car that was. Get out of my shop, bro. Get out of my shop. Theon, as per usual, wasn't listening. So Aurelio had to give him a reality check. It was clear. Everyone knows how dangerous John is. Besides Theon. So John wakes up, buries his dog, cleans up the mess, then heads straight to Aurelio's store. After finding out he was here, he just borrows a whip and takes off. I heard you struck my son. Yeah, I did, man. May I ask why? He stole John Wick's car and he killed his dog, sir. Oh. You can clearly tell by his face. That just messed up his whole day. So Theon pulls up to see his father, and Viggo ain't waste no time. Straight to the gut. And of course Theon's on the ground, confused. He doesn't know what he did. So Viggo just gives him another one. He tells his son, it's not what he did that angers him. It's who he did it to. Who? The nobody? That nobody is John Wick. We call him Baba Yaga. John is a man of focus, commitment, and sheer will. Something you know very little of. I once saw him kill 3 men in a bar with a pencil. A pencil. Viggo then grabs his son and whispers in his ear, John will come for you. Now this scene is just too funny. Viggo knew his son messed up too much, so he had no other choice. He gives John a buzz and asks if he can make things right. But this demon already broke his bunker. The gold coins and weapons were already laid out. Things weren't looking too good. My boy doesn't even speak. He hangs up the phone and Viggo knew he was cooked.
Tasker crew. How many? How many do you have?
John Wick's got the Continental, a whole assassin economy running on gold coin and grudges. So Wick picks up the pistol, shuts off the light, and it was time to get active. They rush through the house. John comes from behind and blow to the head. They never saw him coming. He gives all 3 head taps and sees someone sneaking downstairs and booms him. I guess having the higher ground matters. So now that the guards know where Wick is, they start pushing forward. So Wick just jumps down and gives this guy a 2-piece. Blow, blow. This was looking more like a suicide mission. John catches this one lacking behind the wall, so he smacks his gun down and meets him on the throat. I know he was struggling to breathe. They start throwing hands, but Brody just gets body slammed. Then John sends him home. Tough, but job wasn't done. He pops out the staircase, headshot, jumps onto bro like he misses him, and just drops both of them. Bread and butter. Like this guy John is cracked. Like look at how he does this fool. He hits a knee for BLM while looking who knows where, blams him twice, gets up, smacks him with the pistol, kicks his nuts and throws him out of there. For the last 2 goons, he catches them in the kitchen. They try sending a double team, but that doesn't work. He literally Chinese chopped him to death. Now it was just one-on-one, and he stood no chance. They somehow move to the hallways. John trips him over and uses his own knife to pierce his heart. He really had all of them on the plate like,
Got chicken wings, fried catfish, yams, collard greens, mac and cheese, cornbread.
so the doorbell rings and it was a police officer because there was a noise complaint. But as soon as he realizes who it was, he didn't want to bother him, even after seeing the dead bodies. All my boy does is take off his hat and says,
Good night, John. Good night, Jimmy.
like, I'm confused. Even the damn police know he's a demon. No one bothers him. And yet Theon is completely oblivious to this. By the way, I'm calling him Theon because he was exactly the same character in Game of Thrones. Just a dumb. The cleanup crew comes and they get rid of all the bodies and clean the house like there wasn't just a massacre in there. John then makes a reservation to the Continental Hotel. It's basically a safe haven for assassins who operate in the underground. Viggo gets the word that his men failed, so he puts an open contract on John's head. $2 million. He even goes to visit Green Goblin to offer him the deal, and he had to do this one in person because him and John were close. But just like his costume was green, he sees green, so he accepts.
Tell him to bring me my money.
John heads downstairs to the basement to talk to Winston Scott, the manager of the Continental. He wanted a tip on where he could find Yusuf Tarasov, aka Theon. But remember, no business can happen inside the hotel. Marcus admires Wick a lot, so he tells him to chill out and go get a drink. As soon as he sees his cup, yeah, he wasted no time. Shout out to the OG. He gears up, bulletproof vest, pistol, knife in his socks, and it was go time. He pulls up to the Red Circle nightclub and they had like 30 guards protecting dude. I just know Viggo now hates his son. I mean, if he didn't already. John catches the front security guard lacking and tells him to go home. This was his friend and he didn't want to do him like that. Why don't you take the night off? Oh, thank God. You ain't gotta tell me twice. John sneaks into the bathroom, puts a knife right on bro's neck, sending him straight to Valhalla. Then he cracks Theon's best friend in the mouth. He asks for Theon once, doesn't get the answer, so he nut taps him and starts choking him out with his robe. He tells him where he's hiding, and then I guess there was no use for him anymore. He gets his head smacked onto the table, then John just starts drowning him, sending him straight to the afterlife. John heads downstairs and sees Theon in the pool, and then he just starts cleaning up. He grabs this guy by the mouth, puts one inside, slaps him on the throat, then... So John just goes on this crazy killing streak, dropping guards like flies. It didn't matter if you were suited up or just standing there in your undies. It was ABG. Blow, blow, blow. Theon finally makes a run for it, but John is just casually walking this guy down. He's catching bodies all over the dance floor, and I don't even know what everyone is on because they just keep partying like nothing is happening. He's here, he's coming. John closes the gap and is literally straight headshots. If this was Call of Duty, he would have been on Dark Matter. He does this guy in the red shirt so dirty. He shoots him on the foot, then the face, Spartan kicks him through the door. And then this demon pulls out a Brazilian jiu-jitsu move. Like, get over here. It was so quick, the guy didn't even know what happened. So John made it easy for him and took his eye. He reloads, heads upstairs to the VIP lounge. Bruh, how the hell is Theon still here? He should have been gone. So John cleans up the last couple of side characters quick. He was really dancing on them. But with this particular guy, he gets a little jiggy. He smacks body locks with glass, grabs him by the beard, places his head on the table, and that's all he wrote. Theon finally makes it outside, gets in his whip, and takes off. The last guy John was fighting was really giving him a run for his money. He stabs him with the champagne bottle, then John Cena's him off the top floor. Yeah, I don't know how he survived that. So Wick heads back to the hotel, gets stitched up, has a drink, but he doesn't even get 10 seconds in bed before Norman Osborn snipes a bullet straight through his pillow. He only took that shot because he spotted Shorty trying to kill him. Shout out Green Goblin. W mans. See, there's supposed to be no business conducted on Continental grounds, but this girl Perkins got a little too excited after Viggo doubled the bounty if she was willing to break hotel rules. Perkins came in applying the pressure. She didn't come to play. She was beating him up bad. Chokeholds, rollovers, even throwing straight jabs at his wound. Mink, mink, mink. But this movie's called John Wick, so he flips the script and starts going on the offensive. He wraps her head with the blanket, mink to the face, then sends her ass flying through the glass. Nah, John really brought out that belt. Look at how she's crawling through the front door.
You're a victim.
John puts the pistol to her head and demands to know where Theon is. She tells him she doesn't know, but she gives up something else. The location of Viggo's vault, hidden inside a church, where he keeps all his cash, stash, and important documents. Alright, say less. He knocks her out because he didn't want to break the hotel rules, then hands her over to this guy to babysit for the night. They call that catch and release. So John pulls up to the church, scopes the room, whips out the strap and shoots the pastor right in the knee. Pop! Giving him the D-Roy special. Then he just starts dropping all the goons. Blow, blow, blow. John wasn't here to waste any time. He heads straight to the vault, forces the pastor to open it, and does the Joker special. Burns everything. Yeah, he wanted Viggo to give up his son or he was just gonna keep being a problem. Some time goes past and Viggo pulls up to the church. And for that pastor, he had first class seats to go meet Jesus. Boom! He stood no chance. John comes back and starts lighting them up. Like, nah, he was really using aimbot. Blow, blow, blow. Had these Russian hitmen shivering. This one comes in close and gets dealt with, but John gets caught slipping and boomed by a black truck. Yeah, he was out cold. So back at the hotel, the guy who was meant to babysit ends up letting Perkins escape and putting a bullet to his head. Like, gang, you had one job. Try. John wakes up in this building tied up and Viggo was excited. He finally got him. John was outside doing too much damage. John tells him to give up his son and he will stop. But Viggo just orders his men to put the bag over his head and he dips. This just had me thinking, why do all hitman movies and like mob crime bosses always have Russians in it? Are they like the best at this? Like they always play their role a little too good. Anywho, while John is fighting for his life and is seconds away from turning into a corpse, Green Goblin hits a 700-meter shot to the dome. Bah! And just like that, it was easy eats. John gets up, tackles him to the ground, takes the bag off his head, grabs Brody and drops him into an arm bar. Every now and then this guy pulls an MMA move out of his inventory. He gets out of it and they get back up and they start scrapping. Margot gets speared into the ground and starts getting choked out. So he pulls a cheap move and bites Brody's thumb. Had him screaming for dear life. But it was only fair. His hands were still tied. John gets up, wraps his arm around his neck, pulls it back and chokes him out. Wait, I just realized that was the same guy that gave him the attitude adjustment before. John quickly runs outside, cuts through the alley and stops Viggo's car before he takes off. Like, how long did this guy take to leave? John forces Viggo to pull the contract and give him his son's location. And I mean, of course, he did. And John's actually a good guy because he lets him live. So he pulls up to the warehouse where Theon is laying low. It was like putting LeBron back in the 90s. It would be straight barbecue chicken. He drops the first guard and it must have been so quick because there was no footage of it. He literally put him to sleep, took his headset and sniper and starts dropping them all. Rooftop, living room, top window. They try rushing Theon out to get away, but John was already 3 steps ahead. He had C4s under their cars. Boom! They were officially cooked. Like, look at how this guy is standing. And just like that, it was just Theon. He doesn't waste time. He just walks him down, gives him a gut shot, then puts one right in his head. John heads back to the hotel and checks out. They even give him a new whip for the trouble Perkins caused. He links Osborn and thanks him, but here's the thing. Perkins was in the car watching everything go down, and she didn't waste no time. She gets to snitching and tells Viggo straight away. They catch him lacking on his way home and Viggo beats him bad. Stabs him in the leg and all. But y'all know Green Goblin. He wasn't gonna go out that easy. He gets up, elbows Brody to the chest, grabs the pistol, blow, blow, but gets 2 to the chest quick. And just like that, Viggo finishes it. And this guy, he could have just left it at that. But nah, he calls John Wick and tells him, I just sent your friend to the shuttle realm. And you know what John had to do? He spins that whip right around and heads back. When he arrives, it was true. Osborn was gone. Remember how I said there's no business under Continental grounds? Yeah. Well, Perkins gets a little call from the hotel. And when she shows up, they don't waste any time. Winston tells John there's a chopper leaving soon for somebody, and just like that, John gasses it straight there. He knew he had to get his GBG. Osborn ain't dying in vain. He catches up and crashes the first car off the road straight to death. The second truck hits the pole so hard, and I don't even know how they all got out with no injuries. John just chucks the Chevy in reverse, bumps this guy and cleans him up on the roof. Bow, bow, bow. The last of Viggo's men were just getting dropped off left and right. Like, he was in the car chilling. He didn't even have hope in them. And this geezer was screaming for a gun. So Viggo gave him his pistol and wished him good luck. And as soon as he went outside, luck wasn't on his side. Try. Viggo T-bones John damn near off the edge, but he clutches up and gets out just in time. When he checks the car, Brody wasn't there. And wait, when did it start raining? Anyways, they agreed to throw hands with no weapons, and honestly, this was a terrible idea. Unc was getting cooked. He stood no chance. John was putting him through it. He even caught him with a body slam. Viggo was like, nah, forget this, pulls out a knife and stabs John deep. then just backhands him. Things weren't looking too good for my goat, so he had to lock in. He pulls out the knife, turns the fight around, and stabs Viggo right in the neck. And just like that, it was over. His time was ticking. John gets up and starts walking, literally on 10 HP. Bro's bleeding out. He breaks into his dog shelter, patches up his wound, grabs a pit bull, and then he just dips.